Hey there, welcome back to Ask Amy. I have a question this week from Kerstin. She says, I live in Germany and I learned about the 3 principles about a year and a half ago. I read your book and intellectually understood it too. However, nothing has changed with my weight. There's nothing to do. It's incredibly difficult for me. However, with everything I do, my weight has not changed over the years. It's my thinking that leads me astray. That's exactly what I can grasp intellectually. I'd like to know what these thoughts are so I can let them go. And she says in parentheses, that's what I mean by doing. It feels like I want to use the 3 principles to get things done. Doing nothing and relaxing would probably be the solution. I don't diet anymore. I don't judge myself for binge eating or for my weight. And yet the question comes up again, what can I do? I'm probably too involved. I believe I am my body. The fact is I'm resisting with the weight. I think I want to get rid of the weight, but at the same time, there's also a fear of letting go because I don't know what life can be like without so much extra weight. At least I seem to be more attached to the weight than the desire to lose it. And so I'm going in circles, yes, and I find sad and unhappy thoughts. Okay, so thank you so much for sending this, Kerstin. And I just want you to kind of see, one, the mind is always asking what it can do. That's what a mind is. It's a force of energy that is constantly seeking and searching and saying, what can I do and what's next? So I just want you to kind of get used to that as what the mind is, because it doesn't mean there is something you must do. It doesn't mean every time your mind's telling you, what can I do, that we should be doing something. Not at all. That's thought. It's just thought, and that's how thought talks, and that's what it does. You'll do things in life all the time, but it has nothing to do with your mind. We all do things in life constantly, and it's not because our mind is telling us to necessarily. Like, it's just, we just are designed to do things. So the mind doing that is a little bit different, and I want you to kind of keep seeing how it's just constantly seeking and searching and talking about your weight and worrying about what life will be like without the weight, and all of that is thought. And none of that, like as thought, none of that requires anything of you. You just want to kind of keep seeing that play out and know that you are lived from a deeper place. We don't have to get into that thought so much. We don't want to avoid it either. I mean, but just get in the practice of kind of watching it do its thing, constantly seeking, like you say, constantly going in circles. When you feel like you're going in circles, I want to lose the weight, but I'm not sure. But I want to lose the weight, but I'm afraid. That 100%, that's mind. That's thought. I don't mean mind in the 3 principles way. I mean, that's your mind. It's thought. So absolutely watch all of that confusion and circular conversation and seeking, and know that that's just exactly what thought does. You're not going to stop it. You can't stop it. We don't need to stop it. You just want to keep seeing it for what it is. So I think it's really big. The real essence of what you're saying here, what I'm getting from it, kind of what's beneath the thought circles, is wanting to lose weight, but also being afraid of that. You say you believe you are your body and you're resisting it because you don't know what life would be like without the extra weight. Of course you don't. And no, because we can't, right? We can't know anything. But notice that it's not just that you don't know. Not knowing is beautiful. Not knowing is total freedom. I don't know. What would it be like? What's happening is your mind is pretending it does know. It's telling you, oh my gosh, who knows what's going to happen? Maybe you'll get all this attention. Like maybe you'll fail at something. Maybe like who knows what, right? But I want you to see that for yourself, Kerstin. Notice when you sit with the fear of losing weight, notice what comes up. Write it down, list it, see what these thoughts are, because they're in there running big time and they're creating all this tension that you're feeling. But you know, and we don't have to catch them all or anything like that, but it's good to know, it's good to be kind of on to like, what are the stories here? What are the beliefs running around in there? So look in that direction and get really curious, and you don't have to go chasing anything. Again, they're coming up for you. Just kind of lean into, just relax into like, oh, what would it be like if I lost all the weight? And then notice what shows up. That's it. And really get curious about this stuff. Once you see some of those beliefs and some of those fears, it could be really helpful to go through this with a coach or in a community like the Little School of Big Change community, but really kind of look at this stuff. Like, what is that belief? Let's say a belief comes up or a fear comes up that you're going to have too much attention. Everyone's going to be looking or wanting something from you or whatever. I have no idea. But like, let's just say that comes up when you think about losing the weight. Well, what is that? Oh, wow, I'm afraid of too much attention. What does that look like? What does that mean? What does it feel like? What happens in my body when my mind imagines that? Now, again, this isn't real. This isn't real life. This isn't what's going to happen. It's not that you have to do anything with these fears because they're not real. But this is what your imagination is giving you that's keeping you feeling so stuck, right? So go in, pull that imagination closer and really look at it and just get so curious. Wow, what's the story here? Pretend like it's about someone else if that helps, because it can be a lot when it feels like it's very personal. Wow, so there's a person afraid of losing weight because they're afraid everybody's going to want something from them or whatever. Like, just go into how that story's playing out and how it feels and really get curious about what this is. This is a psychological creation. It's not the truth. Again, it's not what's going to happen at all. But it's a movie your mind is playing that has you feeling really kind of stuck and conflicted. So look at that, maybe with someone if it's helpful. And there's so much in that. We have to look at it. We have to look right at it and feel right into it to kind of move right through it. And we do start to move right through it when we look at it for what it is, as this movie that's playing out that has this feeling like it's so real and has this feeling stuck. So don't worry about the nothing to do. There are things to do. You'll do things, but your mind just is having a conversation about that. There's nothing to do, and I should be doing nothing. I should be relaxing. That would help. Like, just see if you can listen to the mind trying to solve this for you and know that it's not the way out of this. It's not the mind is not the way out of anything. It really isn't. For everything, for all of us, anything we're up against, the mind is not the way out. Notice all that chatter and just know that just go deeper than it. There's a piece deeper than it where these problems are solved and helpful things can be seen, not just the repetitive mind trying to solve things for you. So I hope that helps, Kerstin, and let me know. Keep me posted on what you're discovering in this. There's no real issue in a sense. There's no real problem. There's no real obstacle. There's just a lot of thinking that looks very real. When the thinking looks real, everything looks complicated and heavy and confusing. When the thinking is seen for what it is, to not be real, to just be thinking, then all of this that looks like such a solid, stable problem really gets to shift. So thank you for sending your question. Please send your questions to askamy@thelittleschoolofbigchange.com, and I'll speak to them each week. Thanks, everyone.